Hello everyone, welcome. I'm making this video because I had to make this live stream because some reason while recording it my audio was not coming through. Okay. So I'm gonna make this video for a beginner guide. I have to make this because for some reason I cannot make a video without the audio picking up. I don't know why. So I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about this. If you guys don't know, I've been playing Genshin for about a little over 2 years now. Thanks for watching the channel. I really appreciate it. But today I want to be making a simple guide for beginner guides, mainly targeted towards the people that want to get better at Genshin and get into it. I'm going to talk about 11 things about Genshin for beginner guides should actually focus on first. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to talk about all the free characters first in this game. First, we'll talk about all the free characters you can get in this game. You get MC Traveler at the start, which is pretty good. He's a solid unit, or he or she is a solid unit. The second character you can get for free in this game is actually Amber, and then follow up with Kaya and Lisa. These are the 4 standard characters you can get at the start of the game. Alright. The 5th character you'll unlock is Barbara. I believe she unlocks at AR 18. The 6th character you'll unlock is actually going to be Lynette when you get to AR 25. You get Kachina is unlocked at the first mission of Natlan, which is that's already 7 characters right there. Once you complete Spiral Abyss floor 3 and 4, you'll unlock 2 more characters, which the Spiral Abyss is unlocked at AR 20. These characters being Kale and Changlin. That gives you a total of 9 characters, and if you do the standard thing that guarantees you Noelle, that's 10 characters you can potentially get at the start of the game. Okay, so I just want to bring that up to your attention. All that. Characters. Find the character you want to use first. Meaning, out of the 10 characters you have to start in the game, which character do you want to use the first? If you enjoy this character, use them. Okay. We'll talk about wish tokens because I guess I know a lot of people's gonna want to know about this. Wish tokens. As you explore all of Teyvat, all of Genshin, you actually get this currency called Primos. Primos can be used to purchase wishes like Intertwined Fates and Equation Fates. I will always tell you to always purchase the Intertwined Fates for the limited time banner characters, because there are so many ways to get the Equation Fates wishes more often in Genshin Impact. Leveling up characters or just ranking up can get you Equation Fates. For the Stardust glitter, Stardust, okay, you can use every wish you do, you form Stardust, okay. Every month you can purchase 5 Intertwined Fates, 5 Equation Fates, every 350 Stardust, meaning that a total of 700 Stardust. You can purchase both of these every month. Every time you do wishes, you'll basically be able to purchase these, okay? For Star Glitter, you'll never ever want to buy the Equation Fates. You'll always want to buy the Intertwined Fates, and you'll always want to buy the 2 characters, potentially. If you want a specific 4-star character, every month these characters reset. You can only purchase 1 per month, so keep that in mind. But I always tell people to buy the Intertwined Fates because you're better off buying the Intertwined Fates. Never buy any of the weapons and all that. That being said, don't pull for every character in the game. pull for the characters you want by trying out their trials first before pulling them. Okay? If you don't know, Genshin Impact actually allows you to hit for PlayStation, it's L1, to hit this, you go down and to the test run. You can actually try them out. If you enjoy the character, pull for the character. If you just want to pull for the character because you like their design, pull for the character. If you just want them because you want them, go for it. But do understand this. Don't quit Genshin Impact if you don't get them. Because in the end, the game is pretty easy. The game does always constantly release new characters in the game that might actually be more fun and enjoyable than the previous character or the character you want. So don't quit the game. Increasing your stamina is a major thing. At the start of the game, you might actually have a really small stamina bar. To upgrade your stamina bar, you basically collect these Animaloculus, Geoculus, Hydroculus, yada yada, throughout the world. You go to the Statue of the Seven, and you actually turn them into the Statue of the Seven to upgrade your stamina. Every time, the statue can be upgraded to 10, and you can get more stamina. We'll go ahead and show you in Matland real quick, so you can see firsthand. Always try to do these as soon as you can, because sometimes even these might actually give you wishes. Increasing stamina is a major factor in Genshin. It allows you to explore, climb, and do other stuff, including combat in the game. It's so crucial that you do it, because then you have an easier time exploring all of Genshin. Alright, let's talk about artifacts. I know pretty early in the game, I know people are going to want, oh, how do I get these artifacts? How do I get stronger? Why are these artifacts so bad? Okay, do not worry about artifact farming at the start. Any stats of any artifact can work well early game. It's when you get to the late game is where you want to start farming artifacts. And we'll talk about it in the advanced version guide once I get to that. That being said, you get an artifact, great. Do not throw them away. Throw them on a character, and you'll be good. Increase their stats a little bit. Don't forget your dailies, your weeklies, and using your resin. Resin is a time resource, so the best way to do it is to farm your weekly bosses, like your Boris or Dvalin. If you're a Mondstadt, in Leeway, you might actually have more bosses, but every nation has 2 weekly bosses, so keep that in mind. This also use your resin to farm world bosses to allow you to upgrade characters and other stuff. This also allows you to use domains to upgrade your talents and your weapons as well. Events. For events, Genshin likes to rotate each event. We're in 5.2 right now, so we got a free 4-star weapon. In 5.3, we'll get a free 4-star character, and it will rotate from 4-star character to 4-star weapon to 4-star character. So, starting next patch, 5.3, we'll get a free 4-star character. 5.4, we'll get a free weapon, yada yada yada. So, don't feel like you need to pull for weapons. Don't feel like you can't get any weapons strong enough. Okay? These are relatively decent, solid choices of weapons, and I do recommend people to take their time, do the story. Some of these weapons might not be the best weapons, but some of the weapons are relatively worth getting. In 4-star characters, some of the 4-star characters, you might not want the 4-star character, but down the road, that's a free constellation, meaning that free constellations mean more potential wishes down the road. Don't throw away any of the 3-star weapons. Some of the 3-star weapons actually sometimes can outperform some of the 4-star characters of 4-star weapons, and some of the 5-star weapons can be outperformed by even some of the 3-star weapons. Like White Tassel right now is really strong. It's really strong. It's one of the best, most arguable weapons in the game right now that compare on Arlecchino, because it literally almost provides the same identical crit value stats to the game as Arlecchino, but Arlecchino uses normal attacks a lot because of it. So in the end, it makes you question is, in certain situations, White Tassel might actually perform better than Crimson Moon, which is Arlecchino's signature weapon. So that is kind of crazy if you really think about it, because some of these 3-star weapons might even outperform some of the 5-star weapons, so don't throw them away. Keep them in the back of your pocket just in case you get a character that can utilize them better than some of their signature weapons. Explore as much as you can in Genshin Impact. You'd be surprised on how much primos you can get from exploring in Genshin Impact. You can explore all of Genshin Impact. In one nation, you could probably explore one nation and get approximately like a hefty load amount of primos. So it's like 6,000 maybe, potentially. Even more maybe. And it's huge on how much primos you can get by just overlooking how much exploration you can do. Taking your time to enjoy the story. Genshin might seem fun, but the game has a actual crazy story. When it comes to the story, there's many stories in the game that makes you question what is the main story. Well, that's the thing. All these side stories, all these character stories, does build up the world of all of Genshin that actually does end up leading into one big story. It like connects all the dots, and that's crazy, and I think a lot of people overlook it. It's one of the best plotted stories I've ever played, and I played Destiny for 10 years. Okay, I would say it might have potentially the potential to outshine Destiny's story. Taking your time to enjoy it, you might not get another chance to enjoy the game. Okay? And lastly, I want to talk about is talent and weapon upgrades. Each weapon has a certain weapon upgrade materials, and each talent character has a certain talent book to be upgraded to make their kit better for DPS or supporting. Okay? So, if we take an example, if we go to the weapon, if we go to enhance the weapon, you can actually go and look on where do I farm this domain. Okay? You go here, and you farm this domain, potentially, to get the item to ascend your weapon further. The higher the weapon, the more damage it does, the more stats you get from benefiting it. On top of that, refining weapons. So if we take this weapon, for example, and I decide, I want to go ahead and refine this weapon, I lose the copy of the other weapon, but the weapon gets stronger as I progress. Okay? Alright, so if I go ahead and click on this, boom, now it's at R5. Once it's R5, every critical hit has 100% chance to create elemental particles, which is basically what your energy for your ultimate is. Okay, in the game. Do not feel like you need to do these constantly if you do not have the weapons. If you have two characters that can utilize this, then use both those weapons on those characters. Don't refine it quite yet. Use the weapons. If you know for a fact you're going to potentially get a weapon, another version of the weapon down the road, feel free. When upgrading characters' talents, every character has a unique talent, and I'm going to talk about these talents because it comes to a really crucial thing. Talent books. If I want to upgrade Chaska, I need a certain talent book, certain resources, and a certain weekly boss resource, by the way. You can see that this is off to the left. You can see 96, 57, 78, 266% damage. Well, if I upgrade it, basically I'm getting a 6% from resident damage. Multiple fire taps is 61. Now, it's going up, and eventually it goes up to a point where it might actually go up like 20%, 30%, even maybe 40%. And talent books are really, really crucial to the game, and you can farm these depending on the character. Okay, so I'm going to keep this in mind, though. I will be recapping some of the stuff in the next advanced guide, but I want you guys to take the time to explore all of Genshin. Don't feel like you need to pull a character. If you don't feel like you can't do it, take a step back, reevaluate what can I do to make this character better. Keep that in mind. Do not throw away some of the 3-star weapons. Some of the 3-star weapons are really good. Don't feel like you need to farm artifacts quite yet. I'll actually talk about that in the next guide video I do. The advanced guide on when should you start farming artifacts and such. That being said, I think pretty early in the game you want to use your resin for your weekly bosses, your talent domain, your weapon domain, and upgrading your characters mainly for guaranteed stats. Artifacts can wait a little bit longer because artifacts can actually be very time consuming, and on top of that might not roll the stats you need for that character. So it's best to just save your time on not farming artifacts and get yourself guaranteed stat improvements first. That being said, this is pretty much the end of the beginner guide. I know this is not a fully in-depth guide. I'm not showing you any gameplay or anything. I know that. But that being said, I feel like people need to take this second to really just focus on upgrading weapons in their characters' talent books, in ascending characters, picking characters, all that. In the next video I do for an advanced guide, I'm going to be talking about team building, elemental reactions, weekly bosses. You should be fighting some of the best free-to-play weapons in the game. You can get from the nations. So, free weapons, elemental reactions, team building, and rotations. I will be talking about rotations for certain characters, mainly the free-to-play characters. That also being said, also talking about artifact domains in the next one. Talking about when you start farming artifacts. And I believe those are the 5 steps I'm mainly going to talk about. Because the I basically went over all the beginner steps already. I'm going to talk about ascending characters. So weapons, artifacts, weekly bosses, rotations, team building, resources for your characters, and I might actually what else I'm gonna do? Just trying to figure out. I think that's gonna be a thing. You might start seeing me stream more Genshin Impact, with friends and all that. So I think the next video I do for a guide, there's probably gonna be less stuff I'm gonna talk about, but that basically just up everything I talked about. The advanced guide, I might also show you what stats you kind of want to aim for at the start of the game, when you get to the mid to end game content. So with that being said, thanks for watching. I really hope you guys let me know in the comments if this actually helps you out. I know I just talked about it and not showed any gameplay or anything. It's just easier for me just to talk about it. That being said, I really hope you guys enjoy it, and I do want to recap this, is don't feel like you need to pull for characters that you want, and on top of that, focus on leveling up your characters, your talents, and your weapon upgrades, and choosing characters that you want to use, okay? Alright. There are going to be times that you might have to swap to a character that you might not want, all that, but there are 10 potential free characters you get in the game, and I strongly recommend you utilize those 10 characters for right now at the start, because down the road, eventually, you're going to use some of these characters you might not even touch again, okay? There are 90 characters in all Genshin Impact. So don't feel like you need to pull every single character. That being said, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.